Oh my, ladies and gentlemen, what a whirlwind last week, this weekend has been. I know we're not going to get a lot of people on right off the bat, so I'm just going to say what's been going down. I flew to Montana Thursday morning. Me and Justin did the show. He had like 6 fighters on the card. So he was like going back and forth between coaching and cornering and then commentating. It was crazy. And then I got in. I was doing all my work stuff. I was super busy Thursday, super busy Friday. Saturday, I worked 4 hours in the morning. Then we were at the arena from 4 till midnight. Justin flew back Sunday. I flew back Sunday at like 5:30 in the morning, but not to LA, to San Diego. Then I worked all day yesterday, right when I landed with no sleep, 3 hours of sleep. Then I went out to dinner with my buddies at the end of the night after I worked like 7.5 hours, and then slept, got up, took a train from San Diego this morning to LA, just did 2 hours back to back where I was working, or hour and 45 minutes. Now we're doing the show. Holy smokes, I'm exhausted. My head is hurting, but we are here once again every Monday, 1:30 p.m. PST. Welcome back. And yeah, Justin, how are you feeling after the whirlwind experience?
Man, that was a long weekend, and yesterday, it was kind of just a chill day for the most part. But I feel good today, man. Got good sleep. Went to bed early last night, and I feel good. I feel ready to go, man. Let's run this show.
I am jealous. I need to get that good sleep tonight. I still have a long day. I'm going to be working until 10 p.m. tonight, so I got another 8.5 hours to go, including the show, of course. But we are here. We are back. We got some good stuff to talk about. Justin, I mean, I know real quick, just to talk about Fusion before we get into the mix, and maybe talk about some of your fights if you want to. But I know not everybody on your team won, but the majority of people on your team won. I mean, what does that feel like? Are you feeling good from that? Are you like, what are your emotions right now?
I think it's of course I'm happy. I'm always, but it's not always about the result, and that's where people need to understand is we're still making some small mistakes that I wish we weren't making. We are on the right direction. We're on the right trajectory of looking great. Everybody fought a really tough fight. Chloe Becker taking on Lahua. Man, what a great fight that was. Lahua, and I trained both of these girls, and at the amateur level, that's sometimes what happens is two teammates will fight each other. A very emotional, heart-packed match for me, but Lahua is just not a 125er; she's a 115-pounder. Lars Wittenberger has lost 6 fights in the row, been finished in the first round 6 times. Working on his mental game, as you could see. I talked to Tristan Bush after the fight, and he's like, I thought as soon as I touched Lars with any punch, he was going to go down. And when I hit him with that overhand, and he didn't, this is what Tristan Bush told me.
Yeah.
He goes, when I hit him with that overhand and he didn't go down, my immediate thought was in my head was, this isn't the same guy that my teammate. He told me that. And I was like, dude, dude, you guys hear the praise I have for Lars Wittenberger. This guy is one of the best guys I've ever worked with from a technical standpoint. He trains his ass off harder than anybody. So he started his career off 2-0, lost 6 in a row, and he just got back on the win on a win. And he looked like a different animal. He looked like he wanted to be in there. He looked like he wanted to scrap. I mean, that goes to my support system. Not just between my athletic trainers, between you. I mean, as the fans may not know, like Huzaifa bought a package for Lars to go talk to a mental coach, and all these little nuances, all these little breadcrumbs that I like to talk about. Quote from Eric Miksic, we got to do all the right things and pick up all our crumbs. And that's what Lars has been doing for this last year. And, not only did he get in there and get that first round finish from body kick, Lars is scheduled to fight January 10th in Billings.
Dude, that's amazing. He's coming back already in January. I had no idea. Okay, so I gotta tell people something in this Fusion fight recap. Another thing that's so crazy, or not to say another thing, but just talking about this. Yeah, so as Justin mentioned, Tristan thought he was going to go down. That's what happened. It's like 6 fights in a row. Lars, who Justin says is like one of the most talented fighters he's ever worked with, he would get hit once hard, cracked, and he would kind of like, his mental game wasn't there. He would just kind of fall apart, and that's how he lost those 6 fights. And every time Justin was like, I don't understand it. He kills everybody in the gym. So Tristan was probably like, that's all I got to do. I saw the last 6 fights. They all go the same way. He cracks them hard. And I bet you in his mind, he cracked them, and Lars was just like, because Lars didn't even flinch. And he saw Lars saying there, was like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. Like, that's what he thought. And then Lars just poured it on him. kicked him with a liver shot bad, and he visibly reacted and crumpled up. Justin says the liver shot was the off button. He crumpled up. Boom. Lars jumped down and finished him like an animal. And like Justin said, like everybody saw, it was a completely different animal. And I feel like this was a huge triumph. It was a bit of a redemption arc for Lars, but Justin as well, because I know, Justin, you've even been wondering, hey, maybe what am I doing wrong? What's happening here? And now you've been vindicated. All is well. He dominated, and I think everybody was so proud of Lars, including myself. So anyways, that's our recap. But, I know you guys don't watch Fusion. You don't know Justin's fighter, so we're going to get into the mix. I know you guys came here to talk.
I got one more thing to say. One more thing to say about Lars. So 3 days before the fight, I've been working this technique with him. All right. Okay. This specific technique. All right. Tristan Bush, he's a very forward fighter. He puts his hands up. He likes to block. So when Lars threw that left hook, I saw his arms go up. Yeah. So, in the videos. So I was like, all right, let's throw that hook. Let's make sure his hands go up. And then after, if he puts his hands up, throw the hook, then throw the kick, left kick, follow. So he went left hook, left kick simultaneously. Tristan Bush blocked the hook, and then it went to the liver. And the cool part about this thing is, and I know our audience is going to bear with me now for a second, but I have to pull this up because so if you guys see on my phone here, well, so this threw his left hand at the same time. Left hand, boom.
Boom.
I sent this to Lars 3 days before the fight, and I said, listen, we have to continue practicing this kick because you will be able to land this kick in the fight. Before we walked out, I said, remember, throw your left hook to the body kick. And Lars did exactly what I said, and it went exactly how it was supposed to.
Look out for this kid in the UFC, guys. He's had a bunch of amateur fights, but now I think he's going to get some momentum. Oh, my God. I can't wait to see him back in January. That's super exciting. All right. Well, that's our recap of the weekend. It was an amazing fight card. We had a ton of fun. I even commentated with Justin's buddy, Richie. I was kind of going back and forth because Justin was cornering so many guys. I had a blast with both of you guys. Really fun time with Richie as well. I don't know if he told you, but he was cracking me up on the broadcast. Also, another fun fact, I was on Chloe Becker's flight back to Salt Lake City, so that was kind of cool. MGal4 Production says, Manel Kape is the GOAT. Western says, what's up, boys? All right, let's get into the mix here. We had a really big outcome from the fight weekend, from UFC Fight Night. Pretty much exactly what Manel Kape needed to do to get the next title shot. He did it. He couldn't have done any better. He had a nice back and forth exchange with Brendan Royval. Brendan Royval was looking pretty good. He was looking tough. He was looking sharp. But Manel Kape, man, he's the one of the few guys in the flyweight division that has real KO power, and he brought it to Brendan Royval. I think he won in, I don't know, the first couple minutes. I mean, it was reasonably early on in round one, and just boom, cracked him, put him up against the fence, KO'd him, and TKO'd him, and unbelievable finish. And now we get to this point where I know that sometimes people aren't the most excited about the flyweight division. I assume that includes you as well, Justin. Usually not as many KOs and not as many like banger results, but this was a banger result. We have this amazing finish. Now we were talking about before who's going to be next for flyweight. Justin, what do you think? Do you think this cinched it for Manel Kape?
Yeah, I think so. Brendan Royval is so tough, and I got to watch a lot of his fights. I shouldn't say a lot, but I got to watch him versus Joshua Van and how good he is at distance management. He has great punches. He has great kicks from range. For Manel Kape to come in here and do what he did, although I haven't watched the fight, I've watched highlights of the show because we were in Montana. He looked incredible, man. And Manel Kape trains at Extreme Couture. I believe he's working with Eric Nixick. Eric was in his corner.
Yeah, that's right. He's your boy. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's my boy, but I do see him. Yeah, I do see him at the gym. He does train at the gym. He's one of Eric's fighters. Incredible fighter. When you have a team like Extreme Couture and Eric Nixick behind you, you can really beat anybody in the world.
And was Eric Nixick actually cornering him that night?
I know he was at the event. I saw on his Instagram. I'm going to look right now to double check. But I'm pretty sure he was.
What do you think? What do you think that matchup is going to look like? Manel Kape versus Joshua Van.
Man, I mean, I know what Van's going to do. He's going to stand in the pocket, look to counter punch as Manel Kape comes in. I mean, this is going to be an exciting fight. It's going to be a striker's delight for sure.
I feel like Manel Kape is the more well-rounded striker. I know everybody goes crazy for Van's boxing and his slickness on the feet and with his hands and things like that. But Manel Kape's the more seasoned fighter. He's right there in his prime. I think he's 31 or 32. I just feel I don't know. Plus, I feel like Manel Kape, dude, he's relentless. He does not get scared. He does not get nervous. I feel like Manel Kape is going to come forward and get the job done. But I would love to see that. but that's exciting. Tatsuro Taira, that's exciting if they do it in Japan. I know people are talking about that, but to me, I'm curious to see what happens in the rankings. But to me, I want to see Manel Kape. Also, the guy's the best trash talker in the game. He's so relentless. He's crazy. You remember what? I don't know if you remember this, but one presser, he was talking smack back and forth with Israel Adesanya. It was hilarious because Izzy was trying to get his boys back who was fighting Manel Kape. What's the dude? The power puncher, also in the flyweight division. I'm blanking on his name. But yeah, Manel Kape won't back down from anybody. He is relentless on the mic. So I'm hoping he gets that shot. We shall see. Okay, Justin, we're done with the ESPN era. It's over. And we just had one fight. Now we got 6 weeks with no UFC fights, which is crazy. So we're going to be doing a lot of fun stories on different things that are happening in MMA over the next 6 weeks. Because trust me, we will still be here. We will still be talking about everything that's going on. One such story that just came out, it's obviously not directly related to fighting, but it's related to fighting. Did you hear about what happened, what's going on with Ilia Topuria?
Yeah, I just made a video about it, and not about exactly what's happening to him, but I briefly touched on the information and what it could mean for Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett as well.
So I'm going to turn it over to you. Let me give people the backstory just in case they missed it, and I'll give my thoughts on what's going on. I mean, we only know his side. We don't know the full story, obviously, so we have to proceed with caution. But once I finish explaining the setup, then I'm going to turn over to you, and I'll let you – I haven't even watched your video yet, but I'll turn over to you and let you kind of explain how you think this is going to impact the lightweight division. Now, he already said that he was leaving for personal reasons. I know people are saying, hey, will he vacate now? What's going on? I don't know if anything has changed from the previous announcement. My feeling is I imagine they're still going to have the interim title fight, and the winner will fight Ilia once he's ready, which will probably be in the spring or early summer, maybe the White House card. That's my presumption. But basically, he said he was going through the divorce. He was going through the breakup. He then gave further details, I think earlier today, saying that what happened is his wife is trying to extort him for money. And the way that she's doing it, according to Ilia, again, this is only one side of the story, but he's claiming that she was threatening to say, hey, you abused me domestically, and if you don't pay me X amount of dollars, she was like blackmailing him. If you don't pay me X amount of dollars during the breakup, during the split, I'm going to tell people you hit me, basically is what he's saying. And he said he made this long post on Twitter and whatever. Again, don't know if it's true because we haven't heard her side, what her allegations are and what her story is. But that's what he's saying. So this has caused a stir up. I know James Lynch did a video earlier today, and some people are wondering, all right, what's now going to happen? What's the state of the lightweight division? Now, again, as I said, my thought was I don't see really anything has changed because it's still the family reasons. He just explained a little bit more about the inner workings of what's going on. But Justin, you might have a different take. Let me turn over to you and you give your thoughts on this situation.
Okay, before I give my thoughts, I mean, how into this are you? Like, how much do you know about it?
That's it. That's all I know.
Okay, let me I'm going to share the screen here if you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to give you the exact quote from Ilia, and if you want to read it, because it might be a little small.
I think I know what you're talking about. I saw this. Okay. Oh yeah. That's way too small. Here, I'll let me see if I can find it in a bigger version of it. If you want me to read it, actually no, I can read it. All right. So guys, just listen up. It's going to be hard for you guys to see this, but it says, over the past several weeks, I've made the difficult decision to temporarily step away. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you. Step away from defending my title. This was not a decision. Wait, to temporarily step away. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. So it is new kind of because now he's saying to step away. This is not a decision I took lightly. However, when circumstances arise that threaten your personal integrity, your family, there comes a time when you must address them directly. In recent months, he's been subjected to severe and unacceptable pressure. This is threats to disseminate the false allegations. What's up, Anakinski MMA? Welcome back. To disseminate false allegations of domestic abuse unless financial demands were met. Okay, so they're unfounded, and the truth is not a matter of opinion, it's a matter of evidence. Fair. All relevant evidence has been carefully preserved and documented, including audio recordings, written communications, witness statements, and this evidence has been submitted to appropriate judicial authorities in order to pursue legal action for attempted extortion. Wow. So he's going after her now for extortion. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. My initial decision to remain silent was made solely to protect my children. But under these circumstances, when we do not protect the truth, it allows false narratives to take hold. Many individuals have faced similar situations, and it's time again that the legal system has ultimately clarified the facts. And time and again, the legal system has clarified the facts. Today, I'm stepping forward not only for my family and myself, but to demonstrate that no one should be forced to yield to intimidation, manipulation, or fear. Those who know me can attest that I've never engaged in violence of any kind, and that my life and career have always been guided by discipline, respect, and integrity. I have full confidence in the judicial process, et cetera, et cetera. And then he's asking for privacy. I mean, we were talking about it, but it's news. What are we going to do? By the way, there is one. This is not domestic violence, but there is that clip of Ilia beating up somebody at the bar. So there is one little incident of violence outside. That guy was messing with Ilia, though. That was self-defense. So I'm not trying to say anything negative here. I just want to throw that out here because that did happen. But Ilia was clearly in the right there. Everybody saw it. That guy was like attacking Ilia, and he like posted up and beat the crap out of him. Okay, so wait a minute. I now changed my stance. It does look like he's truly saying, I'm stepping away. I'm not defending. I thought he meant with respect to January. Maybe it's something different. I'm not sure exactly. But anyways, now, Justin, let me turn it over to you.
So, I mean, 2 weeks ago, Dana White came out and said the winner of Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett's going to fight Topuria. I have that interview queued up as well. But regardless, that was 2 weeks ago. This is new news. It says December 15th. So this is more recent news. What this could mean for that matchup is this could get switched to an undisputed, and in fairy tale land, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it definitely could, because here we go. He talks about taking a hiatus, talking about stepping away. Is he going to step away for a month? Is he step away for a week? Is it going to be 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year? This is some serious stuff. He does not want to go into a fight camp and fight someone like Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett if he's distracted in other ways. So if he's out for 6 months, are we going to hold the lightweight division on hold for 6 months? I don't know, man. I could also see, I could see them making this an undisputed title match. Now, if he's ready to go by July, now Ilia's coming back, White House card, Justin Gaethje wins the title. Now Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje are fighting on the White House card, and that'll give the American fans somebody to root for instead of Ilia Topuria facing another foreign fighter. In perfect world, that's how I'd like to see it go.
The other thing that might be playing against Ilia here in terms of what's up, Tehran, in terms of the UFC maybe making Ilia vacate, is Ilia keeps talking about how he wants to go box after his MMA career, that he doesn't want to have too many fights left, have too many more fights, and then he wants to go box. They might look at this as an opportunity to be like, dude, you keep talking about boxing and all this stuff. All right, we're going to make you vacate. Get out of here. If you want to come back and challenge, you can. We're going to make you sign a big contract if you want to, a contract extension to withhold you from going out and boxing. This is just a theory. And maybe they will. I hope they make it an undisputed title if this is truly the case, because if he's going to be out for a while, he can still come back and challenge. But isn't it so much more fun if it's like the real belt is on the line? And then if he's not ready to come back, okay, give Arman the shot, right? Like, that's dope. Everybody who's upset, and I'm an Arman fan too. I'm just not one of the ones that's like crying like crazy. But everybody who's upset that Arman's out in the cold, let Arman come back, get that title shot against Paddy or against Justin at the White House card. I mean, that could be lit as well. I do think it's going to be Paddy that gets it. But anyways, wow, so crazy. How crazy is it that Ilia, who's one of the darlings of the UFC, might get stripped? This sport is so wild, right?
I mean, it just goes to show you that no one is in the UFC. No one's safe. It doesn't matter who you are, man. I mean, John Jones even got stripped.
That's true. Anna Kinski says, do you see Ilia pulling a con? Yeah, he's trying to. I think it's lame. I think it's so lame. I'm so tired of the crossover boxing. Aspinall, we're going to talk about that later, saying he wants to box now too. Well, he's been saying that, but he was talking about wanting to box Francis Ngannou. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit better too. MMA guys deciding, hey, we'll just box. I mean, that's a little bit better, but like, who are they kidding? If Ilia goes into the boxing world and can actually compete with professional boxers who's been doing it their whole lives, I'll obviously be blown away. But that is so unlikely, dude. There's so many things, so much muscle memory that you have to change and switch, and so many techniques that you have to adapt to in such a short period of time, where all these other guys have that muscle memory locked in and they're still getting better. I just don't see it. I don't see it being viable. It's a farce to me. And MMA is the superior sport. MMA is a real fight. It's more exciting. It's more fun. It's what would really happen in the streets. It's not like, hey, we're going to agree not to like throw kicks and knees and these devastating blows. Like, what is this? So if you're in the sport, if you want to stay in the sport of boxing, like, do your thing. If you're a boxer, hey, respect you. You're still getting in there, putting your life on the line. But I just think, man.
Why do you think all the MMA players want to transition to boxing?
They think they
know why. I just curious why you.
What's that? I mean, I assume to get a massive payday.
That's one thing and that's a huge factor. But what's another reason?
I don't know. What do you think, or what do you hear? I guess
way easier. It's way easier. The training is way easier. You hit mitts, you hit the bag, you spar. You don't have to worry about wrestling. You don't have to worry about getting kicked. You don't have to worry about getting elbow. You don't have to worry about getting your neck snapped. You don't have to worry about getting your arm snapped. You can go in there and I did a bare knuckle match, and during my whole fight camp, I was training, 3-4 hours a day, and I was just like, this is the easiest training camp I've ever had in my life. Like boxing, it's a very inferior sport to MMA. Like I mean, I'm not saying boxers aren't great strikers in their own realm. They are, but you look at someone like Mike Jones, who fought this weekend, like,
oh man,
dude, incredible technical bare knuckle boxer. Could his style work in boxing? Probably not, because he has a very powerful jab that he lands a lot. He does a lot of damage with. He wouldn't be able to do the same kind of damage with gloves on. You look at MMA and 4-ounce gloves. You don't have to worry. Like I said, getting ready for a boxing fight, it's like, wait a second, I don't have to get grinded on, and my joints don't have to get bent sideways, and I don't have to get my neck. Like, it's just so much easier. If I had the opportunity to go do boxing for more money than I'm making now, come on, man, it'd be silly not to.
Okay, I get that. I totally get that from the fighter perspective. I get why they want to do it. The money, and it's easier. It's maybe like a less grueling training camp. It still can take damage for sure in the fights. Sure. Arguably more brain damage because the gloves are bigger, and so you can get a more likelihood of a concussion. You get the 10 count. You can get multiple concussions, whatever. So it's still a very dangerous thing. But yeah, I guess I'm just talking about from the fan perspective. I don't believe it's going to be competitive. Now, if you have Ilia Topuria say he wants to box Conor McGregor or something that's different. Like, that is more interesting to me. Or if he wants to box like Nate Diaz, another former MMA guy. But to say, like, who said, I think it's Tehran, he's saying he thinks Topuria is going to fight Crawford. Like, come on. Does anybody think Topuria is going to have any chance against Crawford? Like, do you think, honestly? Like, it's 0%. It's
table tennis to tennis, dude. It's table tennis to tennis, different game.
So that's what I mean from the fan perspective. Sure, man, if he wants to do his thing, I guess, but I'm not interested. It's played out. It's done. We've seen it so many times. We just see the MMA guys go in and constantly lose and get embarrassed. Also, as a fan of MMA fighters, I don't like that look either. And it makes this false narrative in people who don't understand combat sports. It makes this false narrative in their mind that boxers are better fighters than MMA fighters. You know what I mean? Where MMA fighters are actually the real fighters, because no boxers will come into the octagon. So, that's my general, why I have a general disdain for that. But as Justin mentioned, hey, if it's an easier route, maybe a lot of older guys, like you see, what's his name? Silva.
Anderson
Silva, right? He's going in and boxing. Like, at this stage in his life, he wants to box and not do MMA and go have some fun fights with other former MMA guys. I think he's doing one with Tyron Woodley. More power to him. That's more interesting to me. But don't put him against a professional boxer. Come on now. That's my opinion.
Anderson Silva beat a professional boxer as of recent, too, just the last couple of years.
He did. That was crazy. But it wasn't a guy that. But you're right. He did. It was a Chavez Jr. or whatever. Yeah. That was crazy. But Anderson Silva is like the best striker of all time from the UFC. But yeah. Got some more comments in the mix. Tehran said Anderson
Julio Cesar Chavez.
Yeah. Julio Cesar Chavez.
Knocked out Tito Ortiz. Lost a decision to Jake Paul. Like, I think that's awesome, man. Anderson Silva, what a fucking legend. 3-1.
Anderson Silva is a legend. I mean, that is pretty rare. But that's like, again, that's not Crawford. You know what I mean? Like, that's not Floyd Mayweather. Okay, you want to do like a boxer more in that category. I think that makes more sense.
Scheduled to fight Tyrone on the Paul Anthony card.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, because he was supposed to fight. What's his name? The guy who Anderson Silva fought back in the UFC. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Dude, my brain is so messed up right now. I'm on low sleep. But he was supposed to fight somebody else. He pulled out. Tyron Woodley has jumped in. So that's how it goes. Okay, on to topic number 2. And number 3, excuse me. Henry Cejudo asked for forgiveness from Khamzat Chimaev. Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay, so when Henry Cejudo had Khamzat Chimaev on a show not too long ago. So I'm going to tell you the story, Justin. We'll get your reaction afterwards. It's kind of funny. And Then he was on a show and he left his hat in the studio. Then Paulo Costa came on the show later, saw it, and he's like, oh, this is Khamzat's hat. And he puts it in his pants and like, rubs it all around underneath his pants. And they did this on the show. Henry's laughing. Everybody's laughing, whatever. Khamzat Chimaev got pissed. Then they saw each other not too long ago. They saw each other and Khamzat was like, told Henry's like, yo, Khamzat, how's it going? He's like, yo, he basically told him to F off. He's like, get away from me. He's like, what's wrong with you? You disrespected me on your show with Paulo Costa. Like, wait, why do you think we're cool? Henry went out on a podcast after that and is like, listen, I'd like to extend my most sincere apologies to Khamzat Chimaev. I'm in the entertainment business. I thought it was funny. I didn't mean any disrespect, but like, I just want you to know I'm absolutely like so sorry that if I offended you, whatever. Khamzat heard it and he responded. He's like, man, I don't know what's up with these guys, with these Americans and like these people. They think that they can go on a show and talk about you and disrespect you. And then when you see them, it's all good. He's like, we don't roll like that. That's not how we operate. You say something anywhere about me or about us, we're going to feel a certain way about it. We're going to confront you when we see you. But he goes, that being said, I am not too proud to accept an apology when somebody extends one. So it looks like he has accepted the apology. Let's get your reaction to this. First of all, why do you think Henry felt that he had to go out of his way to apologize to Khamzat Chimaev when Khamzat Chimaev showed him an icy reception in person?
I think it just goes, I mean, as we mature, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of stupid things to prank my friends. And I look back at a lot of those things and think, well, that was pretty stupid. I don't understand why I did that. Essentially, mocking somebody, making fun of somebody behind their back, and they see it. And I'm agree with Khamzat. Like, and I've gotten to this point too. I don't really care who you are. If I feel that you've disrespected me, I'm gonna front you up. And I think that just comes with maturity. And Henry Cejudo, I mean, he's a goofball, man. It's like he didn't mean anything by it. I don't think he was trying to be malicious. I really truly think that he was probably just in the moment, thought it was funny, joking. Now he probably is reflecting back. He's like, yeah, I see why he's upset, and he realizes that, yeah, I mean, it's another man that he's talking about, and letting another man rub his balls all over a guy's hat. I mean, that's kind of bullshit. I'd be pissed about it.
I love the post-retirement Henry. He's like going back off the shtick. He's just like being himself. He's being a nice guy, a respectful guy. I appreciate it, but I got to give credit to Khamzat too. A lot of fighters would be like, yeah, take your apology and go shove it. He took it. He said, I'm not too proud. He accepts the apology. There you go. Khamzat Chimaev. Hey, Ian Gary, maybe you should send Khamzat an apology for slapping him on the back and riling him up. People thought Khamzat was out of line there, but people said, other people that know Ian Gary, I don't know if you saw this on Joe Rogan's podcast, where they're like, dude, Ian Gary does that to everybody. He's kind of like likes to push people's buttons in subtle ways, but he can squash the beef. Just go ahead and apologize. I don't think he wants that smoke with Khamzat. That's my thoughts anyways. All right, just a fun little story. Want to get your thoughts because I know you like Henry, made a whole video about him, and super cool. Okay, we have a fight from the White House card. Sorry, my throat is so dry. My voice is literally about to fall apart. I've been talking all weekend way too much. We got a fight on the White House card that apparently maybe has been leaked. Did you hear about this?
Nope.
Okay, let's see your reaction. People have been talking about this already for a couple days. Michael Morales versus JDM. Obviously, probably on the prelims, I imagine, just because it's going to be so stacked. What do you think about this?
Imagine, though, JDM being put on the prelims after just losing his belt. That would suck. I think it's a great step up for Morales. He's undefeated coming into the division. If he's able to get by the former champion, I mean, that's a great step up, and I think he'll be asking for a title shot just next.
Well, what do you think? Like, do you think that's going to happen? Okay, first of all, let me say this. You're saying it would suck, but to be on the prelims. But, dude, it's the White House card. Anybody and everybody would be more than happy. Anybody who even just lost a belt would be thrilled to be on the prelims, even the early prelims, because it's going to be that stacked. There's going to be like, I bet you there's going to be like 4 title fights, maybe 5 title fights, something like that. So it'll be impossible to get on the main card unless you're the main attraction. But what do you think about this matchup? By the way, did you know that Morales was on, I think it was on the Olympic or international wrestling team. I'm going to double check that.
Oh shit. I didn't know you had that much of a wrestling credential on him.
That's my understanding. I remember somebody talking about that on a show. Let me double check. I'm going to look up his Wikipedia right now. So right here, he is the son of the judokus, and he's been practicing since he was 5 years old. And he's a 3rd degree judo black belt. I know you say judo doesn't work. Oh no, that's his dad. And then at the age of 14, he took him to an academy where he began to practice mixed martial arts at the age of 14. Hold on, let me see if I'm right about this wrestling thing. I might be totally making this up. Dang it. Oh, wait. Yeah, it says his style is wrestling. Hold on. And then he switched from judo to wrestling. Here we go. At the age of 10, he switched from judo to wrestling, where he won several youth tournaments. Okay, so maybe it wasn't Olympic level, my bad, but he started in wrestling. That's what I heard, that he was like a very credentialed wrestler. Anyways, you saw the power. You saw what he did to Sean Brady. I don't know. Do you have a feeling for how this might go with JDM fresh off that really bad loss to Islam?
Yeah, you see JDM recover. I mean, JDM's a great boxer out of the southpaw stance, has a great left hand. I mean, I think somebody's getting knocked out in this fight. Morales, obviously has one punch power, but JDM digs to the body like nobody I've ever seen before, and he can really take away Morales' power by landing some of those heavy body shots.
Now, Michael Morales is so young. This guy is, 26? Holy smokes. Let me see how old Jack Della Maddalena is. I don't know if this tells you anything whatsoever. Oh, my God. Jack is such a spring chicken, too. He's only 29. Did you even know that?
Yeah, I did my breakdown video. I mean, I couldn't, if you asked me what his age was, I thought he was under 30, but yeah, both these guys are young and still have a lot of miles on them.
Wow, that's so cool. That's a great fight. I can't wait for that fight. Anyways, so this fight was leaked. I imagine it's going to be on the prelims, if not early prelims, but very, very exciting. Because I can see them even stacking like a bunch of legends, more well-established legends on the prelims versus the early prelims. So we could see, I could definitely see that happening as well. Okay, this is my next topic. I just thought it was something to behold. The ESPN era is officially over. They've been on ESPN since 2018. Okay, ESPN is the one that was keeping them afloat, like during the pandemic, during all these times, 2018, 2019. I mean, it made the sport very mainstream. Now they're trying to make it the #1 mainstream sport. I mean, at least that's my belief. They're going to the next level with Paramount. I got to say, Justin, I already canceled all my ESPN subscriptions. I did it last week. I was like, yo, I do not want to see even one extra charge on my credit card bill because that would piss me off because I'm never going to watch ESPN. You know me. I don't watch any sports but MMA. What about what do you have any thoughts? Do you feel any sort of nostalgia, or are you just looking to the future and excited about Paramount?
I mean, I'm probably still going to pirate the events. No, I'm just teasing. But I have Paramount, so I think it's like it'd be a $5 extra charge. I'm to it. And the fighting is the only thing I watch on ESPN. They don't even play the Lions hardly. So, yeah, my ESPN subscription is over.
Yeah, I want to see if there's any news right now about ESPN cancellations, news. Let me see. ESPN is dealing with significant changes, including recent cancellation of long-running show Around the Horn, blah, blah. Oh, they're not talking about a UFC right shift by 2026. The move to Paramount could potentially causing 100 to 300,000 subscribers to cancel. Holy smokes. Well, me and Justin, we're out already. I already got Paramount downloaded. I'm not starting the subscription, though, until January 24th. Actually, January 23rd. I'll do it one day ahead of time, and then we're going to get rolling into the Paramount era.
How much is the subscription?
I believe it's $7.99 for the basic, but you might be right. I think you need to pay $12.99 to get UFC, but I'm not sure. Well, I think we'll hopefully find out soon. Wait, let me see. Paramount plus cost with UFC. Let's see what it says. It's $8.99. Oh no, sorry. Oh, it's $8.99, not $7.99. $8.99, but with ads. But I'm gonna do the premium, which is $13.99 because I don't want those ads.
Yeah, I don't want ads. I hate ads.
Ads are annoying. We got another comment from Tehran. He says UFC was with Fox Sports 1 in 2018. Oh, ESPN in 2019. He corrected me. I apologize. Thank you for the correction. And Tehran also, I did see this as well. I didn't make this a topic, but Brian Ortega is fighting Renato Moicano at UFC 326 at 155. That's a cool fight. I like that. But I would have been way more excited for Moicano versus Chandler because that's what I think you guys said earlier, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah. Anna Kinsky also said, if Morales versus JDM is happening, surely we're getting Usman versus Islam. I think we are. I think we're getting Islam versus Usman. Islam versus Usman, excuse me. And I think a certain faction of the fan base is going to be super pissed about it. What do you like that fight?
I do like the fight just because the nostalgia of Usman, man. He's a great wrestler, former champion. Do I think he's deserving? No, but I am going to watch the fight.
I mean, he's not. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard on the planet. Obviously, I would say Ian Gary makes more sense just based on his activity and his recent win. I would say Shavkat potentially.
Some information right now.
But I don't hate it. And people are like, people are brushing under the rug the fact that Usman went in there on 10 days notice and fought Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, what? Like the UFC has to do something to pay him back for taking on that fight, moving up a weight class, 10 days notice, fighting now somebody who everybody realizes like the most dangerous guy in the UFC. Like there has to be something.
It was 2 years ago. He's 1-3 in his last. He lost to Leon Edwards twice, lost to Khamzat, beat Joaquin Buckley. Like, I mean, 1-3 in his last 4. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I'm happy for him, and I hope he gets in there and does his thing. But I mean, I don't think he's that deserving. 1-3.
Everybody's writing off the Buckley win, like, big deal. He's ranked 7. But dude, Buckley was on the cusp of getting a title shot. If he would have beaten Usman, he would have been next in line or 1 away from being next in line. Buckley was so on fire. He was like, oh my God, he's crushing it in the welterweight division. The move down is amazing. And now nobody even cares about it. I think, oh, look, I agree. Usman might not be the most deserving, but I don't hate it. And I guess I'm like one of the few fans of Usman. I feel like so many people don't like him. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't mind it. And
I like him. I think he's a nice guy too.
Yeah, dude, he's a good guy, man. He's awesome. Anakinski says, let's hope the Paramount deal is worth it. Wait, no, it's going to be worth it, dude. We get UFC plus access to a bunch of movies and shows. I would pay that just for the UFC. Are you kidding me? $3.99? I spent like $1,400 or something last year on UFC pay-per-views. Or no, am I doing the math right? How many pay-per-views are there? 14?
I don't know.
It's like 800, 320. Like I spent over $1,000. Let's say that. So yeah, I mean, dude, I think it's going to totally be worth it. All right, look, Anakinski, my boy. We always see eye to eye. People don't give Usman enough credit. He beating us. Exactly. Thank you. Why does we're so in the minority on this? Yeah, go ahead.
Is it a case of I'm as good as I once was, but as good, or not as good as I once was, but as good once as I ever was, essentially? Like, did he show up on Buckley have a day off? Like, the thing with Usman is, can he string together good performances? Remember, it's every now and then, every fighter can string together an awesome performance, but can he do it over and over and over? And that's the question.
I think he can, and I'll tell you why. One thing, I watch the Pound for Pound podcast a lot. I know people clown on it. I actually like it. I like Henry Cejudo and Usman. And Henry Cejudo was saying how he wasn't really training that hard leading up to the Peyton Talbot fight, and then he had to like lose a bunch of weight when his training camp began and whatever. But he's like, one thing I respect about Usman is he is always training. He's always doing his thing. No matter where he's traveling, no matter what he's doing, he's always in the gym. I have to believe, like, I think Usman, his mentality is like the champion mindset. So I do think his discipline is going to carry him through. If he loses, I think he will retire, but I don't know. I think he'll come up and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Yeah, I think Islam will beat him for sure. I think that not for sure actually, but I think Islam will win, but Usman will give him a tough fight. I think Usman will give him a tougher fight than Ian Gary. I hate to say it. I love Ian Gary, and I shouldn't say I love him, but I like his fight style a lot. But I think he's going to have a lot of trouble on the ground. I think Usman will have a much better shot defending the takedowns and doing some damage on the ground. So we shall see. Wait, you want Usman to beat Islam?
I do.
Would you do too?
Yeah.
Why? To spoil the party?
I'm just I support American fighters.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Anna Kinsey says, with this deal happening, can we see Kape versus Van for the belt in Houston? I don't think they ever put I don't think they'd ever put a belt in a fight night card. I've never seen that before. I think it has to be a paper. I could be wrong, but you guys tell me if you've ever seen that. So I doubt it, although that would be pretty darn cool because I know Van is from Houston. I love how Usman and Masvidal are cool now. Yeah, it is cool to see that beef smash. What if we end up seeing Masvidal and Colby be best friends? I think that might be asking a little too much. Anna Kinsey says, I really want to see Shavkat back. He was the guy to defeat Ian Gary. Yeah, he was. Only guy to defeat Ian Gary. He's coming back soon. I think they're saying he's going to be ready in the spring. Shavkat is the second hardest. Well, wait, Tehran, who's the number one? Do you think Usman's the hardest matchup for Islam? And then Tehran says they can book Van versus Kape as co-main of 326. Yo, that's lit. You know what I want to have happen, though? I want Kape to win, and we have the return of the one who has beaten Kape, Muhammad Mokaev. That's what they need to do. Guys, we need Muhammad Mokaev back in the UFC.
How did he win? A decision?
Yeah, he won a decision. But I bet you now he KOs him. Mokaev has been working on his striking. He won a fight in karate combat. Now he's the champion of one championship as well. I think Kape is going to come in there totally new and improved. I think he'll be better than Manel Kape by a reasonable margin, and I think we'll see what happens. Kape is going to beat Van when they match up. I think so too. Okay, well, I'm glad Tehran agrees with me because he always seems to know what's going down. Oh, yeah. Yo, look at this. Look at what Tehran said. He said Usman is the toughest matchup for Islam, even tougher than Shavkat.
Damn.
I mean, I could see that. Usman's wrestling is probably better than Shavkat's. Shavkat may be a better, more well-rounded fighter, but
be a great comeback, win the belt back after such a hiatus, and Usman being one of the greatest welterweights of all time.
I think it's a cool fight. I think people should not stop being so negative and recognize that it's a good matchup. And maybe it's not the absolute most, like, the perfect meritocracy, but maybe there's other reasons. It's not like they're going out and finding like number 10 and having them face number 1. Like people are getting so mad about the fight selections, but Usman's in the mix. Like it's not the craziest thing to have him go up there and fight. Anna Kinsey says Kape has been doing solid outside the UFC. Yes, he has. Ian Gary could potentially be a hard fighter. Islam. Yeah, I mean, he could be, by the way. And also, Ian's a very cerebral fighter. He could put together an amazing game plan. And I really liked how Ian Gary used his range and the kicks and stuff like that against Bilal. He could do something similar to Islam. He could make it very difficult for Islam to get inside, but only time will tell. Okay, we got 2 topics left. One topic left. Oh, Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall's madman. He just had a video with Tommy Fury. They're training together. And he did say, to his credit, when he's like, hey, so what do you think? You want to go box? He's like, you're so quick. And he's like, no, mate, I'll have some like fights I got to get through in the UFC first. Thankfully, he said that. Okay. So not to piss Dana White off more, but he's like, I can't be a professional. He said what we're saying right now about MMA guys fighting professional boxers. He's like, I can't beat a professional boxer. They've been doing it their whole lives. I train a different sport. Like I can't do that. But he's like, what would be fun is to fight another MMA guy, not a freak show fight, but another MMA guy. And then they threw out Francis Ngannou. As much as I just crapped on all the boxing, but I said an MMA guy versus an MMA guy in boxing would be interesting. So as much as I crapped on it, I would actually be interested in seeing this.
That's
it. If I turn it over to you, I have my theory. I think I know who wins. Who do you think wins this fight?
Man, it's tough to say. When you put those bigger gloves on, it's a lot easier. But, man, you can't get over the fact that Francis Ngannou dropped Tyson Fury, man. Like that's it. It's a huge feather in the cap. Tom Aspinall hasn't been able to do that in boxing before. So until Tom does something great in boxing, I got to go with my boy, Francis Ngannou.
I'm going Tom Aspinall. He's the more technical striker. I think he's faster too. Obviously, Ngannou has the power shots. But I think in boxing, when you have less things to worry about, I think he's going to be more careful and he's going to be able to move around and use his movement and his footwork. And I think he's going to get inside and, not do exactly what Anthony Joshua did. Obviously, he's not going to have that power, but he's got power. Tom's got power as well. He's had a bunch of KOs. So I think he could do some damage. And I think he get the victory. Plus, he's like way younger than Francis. Francis is about to be 40. So that would be interesting. I'd be down for that. And by the way, guys, we are going to be talking a lot this week in videos about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. It's coming up this weekend. I got to say, man, I'm so excited for this fight. I'm so excited. I'm so curious to see how it unfolds. As we close down the show, do you have any further thoughts? Do you want to change your prediction and go with me and go with Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua? By the way, the odds are minus 1,300 for Anthony Joshua.
Put some money on Jake Paul, man.
Plus 700. I'm going to put $100 on Jake Paul.
Yeah, might as well.
I'm going to call your boy. Any change?
Nope. Nope. It's going to go the way it's supposed to.
All right, guys. That's it. Hey, 10-7 is back again. You're right at the end of the show, dude. I'm losing my voice. Me and Justin commentated for like 6 hours on Saturday. I had a bunch of Zoom calls yesterday. I had a bunch today. I got to get off the show. I got to rest my voice. Thank you guys so much for joining. We'll be here. We're not taking any breaks. We know the UFC is. We are not. We're going to have fresh content, fresh ideas. We're hopefully going to do a deep dive finally into fighter pay. We finally have some downtime to do that. I've been already reaching out to some professors that study the UFC and study that financial model. So if I can get somebody on the show that can break it down, great. If not, I'm going to try and do the research myself. I'm going to use AI and leverage that and try and put together what I can to see if I can get a good little breakdown, economic breakdown of fighter pay, and really do a deep dive of how fair or unfair is it truly. So we shall see. Western has put up 10-7's channel. This is the other 10-7. They got a great channel as well. They've been really great when they come in and comment during our stream. So we really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And what is that? LMAO knockoff is yeah. Are we the knockoff or you the knockoff? I don't know. We're both knockoffs of each other, I guess. I don't know. And then, yeah, that is it, guys. We are closing out. Everybody on the stream, thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys could click that like button, we'd really, really appreciate it. We're really trying to take this thing to the next level. So all of that support does help tremendously. That's all we got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for joining. And we'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy.